Well, thank you so much, everyone, for having us. Thank you for the warm welcome in Framingham. We really appreciate it. It's a great community. Yeah, let's give a round of applause for Framingham. In particular, before we do anything, I really want to give a very special thank you to my friend, a great mentor to me, someone who welcomed me with open arms to the Senate, and has been just such a great person to learn from and to work with. And that's your hometown state senator. We know her around the building as Madam Chair, but my guess is probably around here you're known as Karen. But we want to just give a big thank you to Chairwoman Karen Spilka for your leadership. We really appreciate it. And I want to thank our allies, of course, in your wonderful delegation from the other chamber, the equal chamber, the House of Representatives. We appreciate your work, and we'll certainly give you both a chance to speak to this topic. We began our morning in Boston South Station, a bustling station right at the heart of Boston's financial district. You can't throw a baseball around there without hitting a construction crane, without hitting development, new jobs being created every day that have turned Boston into one of the great success stories in the entire world, one of the centers for global innovation, education, healthcare, you name it. But what we also learned today is Boston has its own set of unique challenges, perhaps one of the most important being out of control cost of housing, out of control cost of living. No one can afford to live there. No one can afford to raise a family there. No one can afford to build and start new businesses there because of the crushing burden of rent, of congestion, of traffic. There's actually a great opportunity now for exchange, because once you leave the greater Boston area, once you leave the 617 area code, there's actually a different story in Massachusetts right now, which is a lot of our communities, in particular in the western part of the state, but also the central part of the state, and quite frankly, not that far from here, have been left out of the success story in Boston, have been left out of that modern economic success story that's been happening in the 617 area code. But we have a lot to offer in the western part of the state. We have affordable housing. We have a great cost of living, great schools, great place to raise a family and to build and start a business. What Boston has is access to high-paying jobs and a fast-paced, very high-income economy. Great opportunity for exchange. Quite frankly, that's the exchange that you all know very well in Metro West, because that's been the success story in the Framingham and Ashland area. You have iconic companies here, a short drive, a short walk, a short train ride away, whether it's TJX or Bose or Staples, that have really fueled the economic growth here in this part of the state, have created new opportunities for yourselves and your families. But you also are facing a lot of the strains and a lot of the challenges that both we face in Springfield and that families are facing in Boston, which is rising cost of living, increasing challenges with transportation, and a sense that maybe Framingham isn't being fully included in the success story that we saw in the blocks right around South Station. So how do we solve that? How do we take that challenge on? By connecting our communities through fast, high-speed intercity rail service. High-speed rail connecting Boston, Framingham, Worcester, Palmer, and Springfield has a transformational impact, not just for Springfield, not just for Boston, not just for Framingham, but for every community along that route. Because what we know is when you connect people to jobs, when you connect families to opportunity, it helps everyone. It helps people on both ends of that trip, both the commuter and the business that's servicing that commuter and the home that commuter is buying. So I just want to thank our leadership in Framingham and in the whole Metro West community for supporting this initiative. I see so many friends. We have a great turnout here. And I want to thank Chairwoman Spilka for her support. This is the third year in a row that the Massachusetts Senate has supported this initiative. And we're hopeful, working with the House, that we are going to put this item on Governor Baker's desk. And we're hopeful that Governor Baker will sign it because this bill is essential for the long-term growth and future of all of our communities in the Commonwealth. It's time for us to have vision and ambition about what is possible in Massachusetts when we work together and we invest in each other's common future, which is public transportation, high-speed, reliable, fast passenger rail service that links all of our communities, all of our cities, and all of our economies, and creates a great exchange and a great way to lift all boats in the process. It's also worth pointing out this is a bipartisan proposal. It passed the Senate 38-0. What issue in this day and age passes 38-0? Some of the most prominent co-sponsors are Republicans, members of the Republican caucus. We don't view this as a Democrat or Republican issue. We view this as an issue of regional fairness and equity for all communities in our state to share equally in the gains and the potential and the opportunity of the modern economy. So with that, I'll turn it over to our host today, my friend, Chairwoman Karen Spilka. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. I'd like to start out by giving Senator Lesser another round of applause for all that he's doing with this. Thank you, and a warm welcome to Framingham and the Ashland area to Metro West. I first want to take a moment to just introduce some of the folks that are here, because I think that it's really important for people to understand that, as Eric said, that Senator Lesser said, this is a bipartisan issue. This also, for our area, is an issue that everybody gets behind. It doesn't matter what political party, what town, what area, what your interests are. This is a critical issue for the Metro West in general, and I'll get into some specifics. But I would like to highlight some of the folks that took the time to come, because it is such an important issue. So we have Representative Jack Lewis from Framingham, Representative Carmen Gentile, who represents part of Framingham. We have Mike Herbert, Ashland Town Manager, because Ashland is impacted by this as well. And Jen Ball, Assistant Town Manager from Ashland. We have Framingham Town Manager, Bob Halpin. Welcome. We have Ashland Board of Selectmen, Steve Mitchell. Welcome. We have Framingham Chair of the Board of Selectmen, Cheryl Tully-Stoll. Welcome. All of these people, I do want to note, have been involved in some way or many ways with the commuter rail, the train, the grade crossing, and different pieces of it. We are blessed to have Framingham Fire Chief Hicks here as well. Welcome. Because, as he said when he got here, the train tracks and the train come into every aspect of public safety and the health and well-being of Framingham as well. We have from the Metro West RTA our friend Ed Carr. Welcome. Now, some folks may not know, but that the Metro West RTA has taken over the upkeep of the commuter rail station here. It used to be the MBTA. Now it's the Metro West RTA. So if you see an improvement, thank Ed and thank Sarah White. Where's Sarah? Sarah, who is the project manager for rehabilitating this whole area. So she is acutely aware of what the strengths and the weaknesses, and knows if anybody is about to walk up to her to talk about the elevator and the steps. We know, she knows that they need work and they need some replacing. I know my office is getting some emails and calls about that. So that will take place. There's funding in place, I understand it, for it. So as well as Sarah is a Western Mass gal. I think she's a constituent. So we'll have to make sure you meet each other. We do have Yvonne Spicer, candidate for mayor here. And I think that's about it for now, but it's there may be other people that come. I do just want to say that we know safe, modern, reliable transportation is an incredible component of quality of life for us out here in all areas of the state. It's not only important for economic development, job creation, but it's a quality of life issue. How many times have we gotten stuck at the intersection here for 10, 15 minutes? I think of a cartoon that was in the Metro West Daily News many years ago, just before we changed the law to create the Metro West RTA, and there were skeletons at a bus station waiting for the bus. I had that on my State House door for many years to make a point, and it worked. But I think for many areas of the state, it's the same thing. We have been so lucky to have this commuter rail come through our area, to have the RTA, to have some options. We aren't there yet. We still need to develop more public bus service. We need more access to it. We need more reliable trains. But it has really helped this area grow and improve our quality of life for our seniors, our disabled, our low-income folks who can't or who either can't afford or can't drive or for whatever reason. This should be a priority. I believe that I am very thankful. Senator Lesser has worked really hard on helping to make this, highlight this area for the western part of the state. We need to bring high-speed rail. It's as simple as that. We need to bring high-speed rail from Springfield to Boston. We need to bring the western part of the state into the 21st century as well, in all areas of transportation and broadband and access. We are a commonwealth. When we did the budget this year, we highlighted sustaining a commonwealth because we take care of each other here. It may not be happening on a federal level, but here in Massachusetts, our priority is our people. And we need to ensure that we are providing the quality of life that all residents, it doesn't matter where you live in Massachusetts, all residents want and deserve. So this is something that I do want to thank Senator Lesser for highlighting. My kids go travel. You know, the 20-somethings now travel a lot. They come back. They came back and they said to me, Mom, this is amazing. You know, we were in Korea. We were able to cross the whole country of Korea in under 2 hours because of the high-speed rail. Other countries are investing in their infrastructure, and Massachusetts and the United States is not. That is a shame. We need to make this a priority. We need to make sure we have the funds, that we have the studies, that we know what we're doing. And that's all that this provision in the budget does. It doesn't say we're going to, start day one if this passes and implement high-speed rail. This is a feasibility study as to what will it take to implement high-speed rail in Massachusetts. Massachusetts should be a leader in this area. We should be looking into it, and I'm proud to have worked so closely with Senator Lesser to ensure that both Ashland and Framingham's needs will be a part of this feasibility study, that they will have a seat at the table when this study takes place, because we know that improvements need to take place at our intersections, at our at-grade crossing, at our signals. I'm not certain what those changes will be, but that's the point of a feasibility study. It's as simple as that. So I'm proud to be able to be working with Senator Lesser and to try to take care of some of the long-standing traffic, noise, public safety issues for both downtown Framingham and Ashland. Thank you. Thanks. I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful to get these fixed after decades of fighting for this and advocating for this? So now I would like to offer an opportunity for Framingham state reps to also come to the microphone to speak. So I ask Jack Lewis, would you like to come, please? Thank you.
Senator Spilka sums it up, but first I want to say how great of an honor it is to serve with the three of you in the State House. The senator's right. We need people with bold, creative ideas, and to be surrounded by colleagues like them who are constantly coming up with, but also fighting for these issues is a great honor in the building. I want to say, when I'm looking back at the last 50, 60 years as America, previous generations never shied away from bold, creative ideas. 60 years ago with the interstate highway system, was it a bold idea? Was it a bipartisan idea? Yes, but they did it. 50 years ago, with the computing power that we now carry around in all of our pockets, previous generations landed people on the moon and brought them back again. Was it expensive? Yes. Was there a societal acceptance about the obligation we have to take that next step forward? Yes. But they did it. My fear today in America, especially in Washington, is we don't have that same bold vision for the future. And the reality is, if we're not going to do it in Washington, we need to do it here in Massachusetts. The senator said it. The rest of the world isn't shying away from progress. They realize they need to get people from A to B faster and more efficiently, and they're doing it. Any of us that have had a chance to travel to Korea or Japan or Germany or France realize that as vacationers, we get to go and take advantage of it, and it's great. You can crisscross a country, you can see more of the world than you ever imagined possible. But as we sit on those trains, we sit next to business people who woke up in the morning, sometimes in one country, travel through that country to go to another country to go to work, to then commute back, and sometimes still are commuting less than many of us do when we go into Boston and sit on the Pike for an hour and a half. They're commuting across hundreds of miles. We travel 19. The rest of the world's doing this. We can't back down from this challenge. I'm honored to support Senator Lesser's work on this, and as always, it's an honor to be part of a delegation that isn't shying away from any challenge. Thank you.
Representative Carmen Gentile.
Thank you. I want to thank Senator Spilker and Senator Lesser for their leadership on this. I grew up in a railroad family. My dad worked for one railroad or another for over 30 years, so I have my earliest memory actually is from being in South Station. But this is jobs and education. Jobs for people in Springfield and everywhere in between Springfield and Boston. And educational opportunities for people in Springfield and all the way from Springfield to Boston. High-speed rail will allow our friends and neighbors, employees and students and professors to get back and forth to work, back and forth to school, and bring us into modern times. I mean, if as Representative Lewis said, you go to France or Germany or Japan today, hop on a high-speed rail, and you're 100 miles away in an hour or much more than an hour. We need that here in the United States, and Massachusetts leads. Around the country, other states look to us. This is something we can do, something that we should do, and I want to thank, again, Senator Lesser and Senator Spilker for their leadership. Thank you.
So we're here in unity with all of you, hoping that this will finally be in the conference committee budget. I can tell you that I will be pushing for it as chair of the conference committee. I make that promise. I will be pushing for it because this is critical. This is a lifeline, both current and future lifeline for the state of Massachusetts. It's something that we must do. Every year we keep putting it off, and like all the other infrastructure that we keep putting off, it just gets more and more expensive. So let's bite the bullet. Let's figure out what it will take to implement high-speed rail. And then we, as a state, can proceed knowingly and accordingly. So I do just want to turn it over to Senator Lesser to wind up. But I want to thank all of you for coming. Again, it shows the support that we have here and the desire to get this done that all of you took the time to come here on this sort of muggy Monday morning. So thank you, Senator Lesser.
So, couldn't say it better myself. One question we do get a lot is why now? Why do we need to talk about high-speed rail now? Why do we need this feasibility study now? Isn't this something that has been talked about for a long time? Well, it's back to the point that was made, just a few moments ago. We can continue to kick the can down the road and leave these decisions to some other person or some other time or some other place or some other group. But we'll be robbing our communities and, frankly, our generation of the ability to live up to our fullest potential. And now is the time, because there's a lot happening in West Western Massachusetts. MGM is opening a $1 billion gaming and resort facility. We have a brand new rail car facility. I don't know if people realize this, but the MBTA rail cars, the new MBTA cars, are going to be made in Springfield. How ironic is it that the people of Western Mass will be making these cars but can't even get on a train themselves to go into Boston? Business is booming in Framingham. There's so much opportunity here. You're becoming a city with all of the opportunities that comes with. We need fast, reliable rail service on both ends of your city, frankly, going east and going west, to open up the full potential of our state. So I'm so grateful to everyone for the warm welcome, in particular to Chairwoman Spilka. And I'll stick around to take questions if people want them, or if people have other items they want to share. But thank you again so much. And we're in a critical moment. We're in the midst of the conference committee negotiation, as our Ways and Means chair certainly knows better than anyone. And then hopefully this will be going to Governor Baker's desk. So we need people mobilized. We need people engaged. We need people reaching out to their networks, to their communities, to their colleagues, to their friends and neighbors, talking about how important this is.
Thank you.